the trick is, it's not about the quantity of the habit. It's actually just about doing the habit over and over again. And I'll prove this to you. If you were to swap, I don't know, the drawer that you keep your socks in with the drawer that you keep your cutlery in, you would be forgiven for going into the kitchen for breakfast the next morning and reaching for your socks, because every single day you've gone to that drawer to bring out your cutlery. Your brain has kind of remembered that that's where it is. So building habits takes time, and it comes through repetition.
Welcome back to this episode of the Takeoff Podcast. So I'm very, very excited about today's guest. So we have Timi, the founder of Mr MoneyJar. I also consider him like a brother in the financial influencing game. He's also a financial content creator, influencer, educator, and he has made guest appearances on massive platforms such as the BBC, Sky, and the Lad Bible. Did I forget that he's also award-winning? So he creates some of the best content I've seen on everything personal finance, from budgeting, investing, saving, getting out of debt, anything to do with personal finance, you name it. Timi has done it. How are you doing today, bro?
Feeling a lot of pressure after that introduction. I'm good.
All your achievements, man. All your achievements.
It's been a while since we last saw each other, so it's actually good to be back.
Yeah, to connect, right? Yeah. So, how's your day been? It's been a busy one, right? You were telling me.
It's been quite busy, yeah, but I'd much rather be busy than not.
Why? Why is that?
Because if I'm not busy, that means that my business isn't working. I need to go and get a job.
Yeah, efficient, right? Efficient. Wow. So you had a bit of a trouble getting up here today. What happened exactly?
Yeah, well, I think that, I don't know, the borough needs to do something about the transport links here, because when I looked up the journey, it was just really weird. It was like the bike was the quickest way to get here.
From South London to North London is the bike, right?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I've got, do you know the red bikes? So, yeah, I got one of those. And I was cycling along. It was actually the perfect mode of transport. It got me here 15 minutes early, and then when I went to lock it, the entirety of North London was a no park zone, so I then had to cycle back. I literally parked outside the Wetherspoons, so I had to cycle all the way back down to get a bus back up, but it's fine.
That's mad. Wow. That is crazy. What a story. So this question, I ask everybody this question, and I always find it funnier for me because it's funny asking financial influencers this question. So what is your worst financial mistake?
So I'm going to interpret this as the financial mistake I'm most ashamed of.
Yeah. Let's interpret it as that. Yeah.
So when did Hotline Bling come out? Like 2013?
Yeah. That's such a long.
Have you got Google there?
Yeah, I can Google it. Hotline Bling. 2013. Hotline Bling, Drake. Right?
Maybe, no, it was 2000. It must have been 2014, 2015.
Google's making me verify. Gosh. Google, why are you making me verify at this crypto? It's acting up. Google's actually making me verify.
The funny thing about verification is that...
This is crazy. Let me go to YouTube. I'm going to have to do that one, right? Okay, we've got the... Hotline Bling, okay, there we go. 5 years ago.
2016.
Yeah, 2016, yeah.
Right. Glad we found that out.
Okay.
I remember seeing I can't believe I'm going to tell this story publicly, but anyway, so I remember seeing the Hotline Bling video, and in it Drake is wearing, like the red puffer jacket, like the jeans, and the Timbs.
Okay.
And he's like doing the dances and stuff. So I was a very impressionable 26-year-old. I decided that I wanted to get myself some Timbs. And I was working in the city at the time. And I went to Liverpool Street. They had a Timberland store there.
Okay.
I went there every day for a week. like made friends with the assistant there. I thought she liked me. She just wanted to sell me a pair of boots. And I was like meticulous. I was like, I'm going to get it in this color, this material, this, that, and the other. Got a discount on it. All in, I think I spent like £162 on this pair of boots. I wore them and they were clunky and uncomfortable. Like for me, some people can really do Tims, but I found them really uncomfortable and they stayed under my bed.
Wow.
Like for years. I just never
wore them again.
Yeah, and I got peer pressured into buying them by a music video.
Drake, where you at?
Yeah, Drake.
Look what you did to me.
Yeah. It was like the biggest single, maybe outside of a phone or, you know, like a games console, the biggest single purchase I'd made at the time. Yeah. That money could have been used way more productively. But I guess that the story ends well because I sold them on eBay for like 80 quid.
Oh, that's good. You recouped quite a bit of your money back.
So if you have clothes that you're not wearing that you've been peer pressured into buying, like on eBay, you never know what you're doing.
That's a brilliant story. Oh my gosh, Drake and Timberlands. You know what? I don't get the hype with Timberlands, to be honest. I don't find them comfortable either.
Yeah, they're great shoes. They're very, I feel like if you do find them comfortable, you can wear them for a very long time, but they were just too heavy for me. Yeah.
I love that story. That's
Kiss the Timberland collab goodbye.
Yeah. Oh wow. Well, you never know, right? If it's just for like a few minutes, right?
Yeah.
Unless people hear this story. Oh man, I love that one. Can you describe what the day in the life is like for yourself nowadays? Yeah,
I have like two realities. I have the day that I would like to have and the day that I actually have.
Okay, cool.
And I think most days I fall somewhere in the middle. So I wake up like 8, 9 o'clock.
Okay.
Then I will get a cup of coffee.
Okay.
Do some exercise, get showered.
Yeah.
And then ideally I like to spend the first 3 hours of the day, so I start work at about 10 o'clock. The first 3 hours of the day making content.
Okay.
I find that I'm most creative in the morning.
Okay.
And I'm like most fearless as well.
Yeah. I get what you mean,
Sometimes you need to be fearless when you make content.
Yeah. It's tough, man.
What people think. So I'm more in that fear of mind in the morning. 1 hour for lunch at 1 until 2. And then I spend the next 3 hours doing admin type stuff, so responding to emails and like planning for the rest of the week, essentially. Then I like to go for a walk for an hour. Yeah. And then I use the rest of the day I play a lot of video games.
Okay. Wow. Very methodical. What games are you playing at the moment?
I'm playing Super Smash Brothers.
Really? Oh wait, so you got what's it?
Switch. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
who's your character? Go-to character?
Snake from Metal Gear Solid.
Really? Oh, he's a hard character to use. Yeah. Wow, he must be really good.
I want to start going to tournaments actually.
Really? Yeah. Good luck.
I found a tournament in North London because basically my lockdown was Mr MoneyJar, be a good boyfriend / husband, smash. Okay. That's all I did.
Okay, wow, that's fantastic. I love that. Oh man, I never knew. I had a feeling that you were into games, but I didn't know how much into games you were.
Fighting games, particularly.
Okay. Fighting games, okay.
Me and my dad bought me and my brother Street Fighter 2.
Okay.
When we were
the classics.
Yeah, I was 7. He must have been like 3 or 4. I mean, we fell in love with it. We used to play. I play Street Fighter, Marvel, Tekken, Smash, like all the fighting games.
Wow. Which out of all of those, which ones are your favorite? You say?
I think the fighting game, the Smash is brilliant.
Yeah, Smash is it's another level.
It's just really good. But I really got into Marvel vs. Capcom.
Okay.
Like Marvel vs. Capcom 3 that came out 10 years ago now, which is actually crazy. But what I really like about it is the scene. So a lot of the people who play video games professionally are content creators.
Okay, really?
And streamers, they have YouTube channels.
Yeah, of course, but in that way,
they monetize their gaming, and to me, that is like revenge on all the parents who said that their children shouldn't play video games, because you can now play video games and make like 4 figures a month. Yeah, that's true. Wow. That is actually very true. That's insane. I mean, you should do content around that, right? Yeah. Do how much they make and whatnot. Wow, that's a fantastic story.
your approach is very, very methodical. I love it. And you said something very important. I think I read an article somewhere. I can't remember where it was, but it was talking about like your most resilience in the morning. So it makes sense why you said that you're more creative in the morning. You're more resilient, and it sort of wanes off as the day goes on.
I think creativity is it has a battery.
Yeah.
And my battery is recharged when I sleep and when I dream. I've dreamt stuff and then woken up and made it.
That's epic.
And so like that's why I'm most creative in the morning. I think as the day goes on, you get tired. You've worked on other things, and I think you can be a bit more inside your own head. Like, should I post this? Should I not post this?
I can definitely see some synergy between your love for games and content creating. I feel like there's definitely, because games is full of creative, right?
Yeah.
Like the amount of effort that they put into creating that game, and you love that, and then how it translates into your skill as a content creator. I think there's definitely some synergy there. Very, very interested. So before like becoming, getting into personal finance, what were you doing before? What did you study at uni?
I studied law at university.
Oh wow, as well.
Yeah.
Ah, me too.
Oh, cool.
I didn't go into law though.
Yeah, I didn't go into law either. And my first job out of uni was in marketing and PR. And a lot of the clients at that particular company were financial clients, and there'd just be all this financial jargon thrown around. And you needed to be a subject matter expert in finance, personal finance and investing to be able to do the job.
Okay.
Because that was who most of the clients were.
Yeah.
And I just got curious, and I was like, okay, wow, like how does all this stuff work? How does investing work? I'd hear like the word debt consolidation. What is that? Like personal loans, credit scores and stuff. And then I actually went on a training course to learn about infographics and how to create infographics. I went into the Guardian's offices and learned about two great graphic designers / journalists, David Vechain and Edward Tufte, and I fell in love with it, and I started to make infographics there.
Okay, wow.
And they would get placed in national newspapers and stuff.
Wow, okay.
And after that company, I went into marketing, less financially focused, but a lot of kind of number crunching and research and stuff. And then that was when I really got the bug to start company. So I left my job in marketing and I started my first company. It wasn't Mr MoneyJar, it was a completely different, it was actually a fintech app.
Okay.
Worked on that for a year, didn't work out. Then I worked in charity for a couple of years. And it was then that I started to build Mr MoneyJar at the same time. And then I left my job in charity last November.
Okay. Wow, well done. Well done. I've got a few questions to ask you. So you started your first business. And for a lot of people, I feel like when they do business and it doesn't work out, there's this tendency maybe not to try again. How comes you were able to try again? And where did that, that motivation be like, I don't care about what happened in the past, I'm going to just go again?
I just think a lot about what we're all going to leave behind. And I just had a really, strong feeling that I wanted to leave behind something business-wise for other people. It's their children, for other people, they want to write a book or they want to build something physical. And I just had ideas all the time, like I wouldn't be able to sleep. Ideas I had in my head. And I just figured that if I tried to start a business and it didn't work out, then I could just go back to employment. But I was going to give it a good go. And like the universe doesn't care about your business idea. Like it needs to actually help people. And I don't think my first business idea helped people. I just thought it was a cool idea. So I felt like I didn't have a choice.
I get what you mean. That's very interesting. You said something about the ideas in your head. I think a lot of people who go into business, that's what they're like. They have so many of their ideas and they're like, oh my God, like I can't stop thinking about these ideas. Let me keep going.
But the learning is, for anyone who's listening to this who does have an idea, actually you only need to execute on one idea well to gain some traction.
Yeah.
And I remember in the beginning, I was like, yeah, I want to run like 3 different business ideas at the same time. But within one business, there are so many different facets. If you just focus on one thing, I think you increase your chances of succeeding substantially.
Yeah, I completely agree. Wow, what a story. I was just thinking about there was another thing that you said that was very interesting, but I think we'll come back to it.
Yeah.
So, the financial influencer, why that path? What was it about that you were, okay, that's for me, that's what I want to do?
I actually resisted it for a long time. I was really worried that if I started to monetize content and post ads, that it would put people off and people would think that I was basically using their attention to make money. But I think we've all been able to, because there's lots of us doing this now, strike a good balance between helping people, but also running sustainable businesses. And I was also worried about just like putting myself out there in the public sphere, because I've been out and kind of recognized people from the internet. I'm not saying that I'm going to become super famous or whatever, but I do enjoy going to Sainsbury's. I do enjoy
you don't want to be bothered that, can I get an autograph?
And that when I kind of observed the extreme end of influencing well means being recognized.
That's true.
So that's true. Kind of worried me, but now I've stopped caring about all that, and I just want to help people. I've helped people, buy houses, get out of debt, start investing for the first time. Whatever happens as a byproduct of all that activity is whatever happens.
Yeah. It's like you said, the benefit to people is way stronger than, you being recognized. Yes, it is a negative, but there's negative and positive to everything, but the positive far outweigh the negatives.
I think so.
I completely agree with you. It's a very interesting thing. And I think the ad thing, really my position on it is marketing needs to be done. Somebody has to market things, we all use products. I use Apple, I've got, Mac. These are products I like. I have no problem with them marketing. And I think if it's relevant to your audience, I don't see no problem with that.
I
really don't. So
I also, thought about some of the creators that I followed. So I'm not on YouTube at the moment, but I watch a lot of YouTube and have watched a lot of YouTube. And there are people that I followed on YouTube that I thought did adverts really well and in a really classy way. So, and I actually wanted to see them advertise. Or even if they advertised stuff that wasn't relevant to me, I just liked them so much that I was like, you sell those Raycons. Like, you definitely use those.
It's so true. You just kind of overlook it. If you like the person, you think they're genuine, which a lot of them are, you're like,
there's a guy I've been watching for about 10 years. He's a film reviewer out in the States called Jeremy Johns.
I don't think I've heard of him.
He reviews films and he reviews video games, and he's been doing the same format for 10 years. He speaks directly to camera in front of a red background. Uses the same graphics as 10 years ago, everything. And whenever I watch a film with my wife at home, it's like we'll finish watching the film, like a Marvel film or something, and then we'll go and watch Jeremy. Like, let's see what Jeremy thinks of this film. And like, you just have this relationship with this person. So if he wants to drop an ad, like, fine.
You kind of forgive it. And I think, to be fair, I haven't actually seen any creators really that take the mick. Really, I haven't witnessed anything where a creator, like, I don't know, fashion influencer, every single day is an ad. I don't think I've ever seen that. So, and I don't think, to me personally, like I said, I don't think it's a problem. If there's a balance to it and you are providing value as well. As long as you're providing value, I think everybody is going to say it's fair. So you've been featured on Lad Bible, BBC, Sky News as well. How did those come about, and how did you feel doing those?
Well, in a sense, with Lad Bible and Barclays, that felt like coming full circle, because I actually signed up for the Money Mentors program when it first launched. I remember scrolling through my personal Instagram. This is way before I'd done Mr MoneyJar,
Yeah.
and I saw an advert for it, and I went just to see how they were doing financial coaching. So it was pretty cool to do an advert for it, which was actually something that I'd used and benefited from.
Yeah.
Like, that was really good to do. The BBC piece, the journalist just reached out on email. I think she must have either been following me on Instagram or Twitter, and she wanted to do a film about like generational differences in money. And Sky, again, they reached out directly as well. I think that what I can say for content creation specifically is I don't really sell or market to anyone. I just create the best content I can, and that seems to be the storefront that people. And you know, I want to know why it's working, but I also don't want to know why it's working because I want to just continue to help people. That's what I know is definitely working and making the best content I possibly can. But to be very honest, you know, those I didn't reach out to them. They just came.
Okay, wow, yeah. And I get what you're saying about not wanting to know, because you kind of don't want to influence your style or whatever. You don't want to break what's not broken.
I'm extremely grateful for every opportunity I've gotten. Like even this week, National Numeracy announced.
That's good.
I was an ambassador for them. Really grateful for every opportunity that comes my way. Really thankful that people want to go with me on these things. But I will just continue trying to focus on content and helping.
I like that. Very, very great answer. So today we actually wanted to cover financial habits, right? So financial habits are interesting because I feel like it doesn't get spoken about that much. And it's a mental thing, in my opinion, for a lot of people. Me personally, in the past, I've had terrible financial habits. It's not even something I was even aware of. I didn't even know it was a thing, right? Which is why I wanted to speak to you today about it, get your thoughts on it. So what is your definition of financial habits?
Well, if we start with habits, a habit is a behavior that you do subconsciously. And it's your brain's way of conserving energy. When you do something for the first time, you're concentrating a lot. It's really tiring. That's because your brain is undergoing changes in that moment, physical changes. But then once you bed in that habit, then it becomes effortless. Reversing up the driveway, brushing your teeth in the morning, these things just come effortlessly to you. And I think that habits are great because they allow you to be a more efficient human being. And if you have good ones, then that is like a bonus. So financial habits are just your financial behaviors that you do subconsciously. You don't think about them.
I like that. That's a very, very comprehensive answer. The habit thing is interesting that you said it's just something that you do without thinking, because actually when you say it like that, that is literally the definition of it, and it's so hard to change something that is so hardwired in you. Can you give examples of some good financial habits?
So for as long as I can remember, I save on the day I get paid. To me, being paid and not saving at least a little bit of it is like, it's weird.
That's good. That's a good financial habit.
It's like brushing my teeth without toothpaste.
Imagine that.
Actually, I was a bit disingenuous because it's not for as long as I can remember. It's like from kind of like my early 20s.
That's still good though. That is still good.
Kind of post the depressing student overdraft phase. We all know that phase, right? You leave uni, but you're still in your overdraft, and your first salary brings you back to £0.
Back to zero. I've got 2,000 in overdraft ready.
Got no money yet. Once I got over that phase, that was a financial habit that I had, and I think saving is really important. I think over the past couple of years, I think we've realized the importance of having emergency funds, the importance of saving towards goals with purpose.
Yeah.
So that's a good financial habit, I'll say that I have.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to this episode. I do really appreciate your support so far. If you do want to support the production of this podcast further and you want to get early access to the next episode of the Takeoff podcast, or you want to join in a monthly live Q&A, make sure to check out the link in my description. Either pledge to my Patreon or subscribe to my YouTube membership. Either way, I do appreciate you supporting me and helping me to build the best business and finance community in the world. I do hope that you enjoy the rest of this episode. Really like to answer, where did your good financial habits come from? That whole, habit of saving as soon as you get a paycheck. Because for a lot of people, they don't have that. As soon as they get a paycheck, they go to the bar, they're buying their favourite bag or watch or trainers. For them, saving is not so instinctual. Where did you get yours?
So 2 things. Firstly, I read a fantastic book called The Richest Man in Babylon.
Okay.
And if you could summarize that book in a sentence, it's save 10% of all your income. If you do that for the rest of your life, you'll never have to worry about money. Fantastic book. But I also stopped caring about what other people thought of me. I do still care what other people think of me, but I can count those people on one hand.
Yeah.
I think if you try to impress or please everyone, you will have no money left.
Yeah.
You'll just buy stuff and go to things and just do stuff that isn't in line with your purpose, isn't in line with your goals. And you'll just drain your wallet. So finding out the information, but also having that change of mindset of, maybe I don't need to buy these Timberlands.
Yeah. Because of what drinks
no one cares whether I'm wearing them or not. All the people who, there's no one to impress in life, because all of the people who care about you don't care.
They don't care.
And all the people who don't care about you don't care. So
exactly, yeah.
Just
I love that saying. That is fantastic. Yeah,
so just,
that's good.
Don't spend money to impress people. Focus on your goals and on your purpose instead. I mean, to sort of deepen the conversation, but I was talking before about what we leave behind. I think about, life and how temporary it is a lot. And I think when you think about the fact that, we're kind of just floating through space.
Yeah. That's true.
I'm 32 in a couple of weeks, and then, in another 50 years, I might not be around anymore. That keeps you on purpose, and it really focuses you on what you want to spend this limited time on Earth doing and who you want to spend it with. Yeah. And that's why I save.
Fantastic. Also, it's very interesting about I'm about to write a tweet, and it aligns to what you're saying. That I feel like the world is designed to just distract you.
Oh yeah.
I just feel like everything's just there to distract you. The people are super focused, know what they're doing, they'll do it without caring what people think, and everybody else is getting dragged by the distractions of other people. People are just trying to distract you from your purpose.
100%. Charlie from the Money University Instagram page that I really like. I think he posted on the story once, or did a post where he said that the things that you're at risk of are really simple. Yeah. Most people in the short term are not at risk of inflation. Yeah. That's a 10-year thing. That's you keep your money under the sofa, and after 10 years you're like, oh wow, it's half the value, or 20 years or something. You are at risk of going on your phone and wasting 4 hours of your day scrolling. Yeah. You're at risk of caring about what other people think. You're at risk of buying stuff that you don't need to show off to other people. Yeah. Those are the actual risks that affect you day to day. Because if you break down your day, and actually Floyd Mayweather did a video on this, which I thought was really good. If you just break down your day, 24 hours, you're asleep for a third of it, you're working for a third of it. So that's 16 hours, you've got 8 hours left. Let's say you spend 1 hour eating a piece, that's 5 hours. let's say you spend another hour just doing admin or something, that's 4. If you spend 4 hours just wasting your time, you're going to have no time to
That's
build
true. That's true.
at all.
Very, very true.
And then you're going to wake up one day and you're going to be like, wow, like, what did I spend all my time doing?
And it happens like that. 10, 20, 15 years go by, you start regretting. Like,
No, but it does.
Yeah.
I remember 2011. I remember
Yeah.
like 10 years ago.
Yeah, I remember it as well. Yeah, it's crazy because you look back and you're like, oh my gosh, time's really flown.
Yeah.
That was that in 2009, really?
Yeah.
Crazy.
So, but one thing I like to do is I like to speak in the affirmative as well. So, like, rather than saying what people shouldn't do, I think it's very important to utilize compounding in your life.
Okay.
So, if you're going to spend time or spend money or spend energy on something, try to spend any of these resources I've just mentioned on things which will carry forward into the future.
Yeah.
Friendship, for example. If you invest in a relationship with someone, as long as you both stay alive, that's something that you get to have for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
If you learn a skill, again, that's something that I signed up for public speaking classes a few years ago, and that still stays with me until now. The problem with scrolling is that it's not morally wrong to scroll on your phone.
Yeah.
It just doesn't build up to it.
It doesn't do anything for you. It just doesn't.
You know, you pick up your phone, you scroll, you put your phone down, and then that's it.
Yeah, you forget. I could not tell you why I remember scrolling last week. Probably yesterday, I couldn't even tell you. That's how crazy. Even today, I probably couldn't. That's how crazy it is.
But then to keep it balanced, I would also say that there is definitely a time and place for fun and for just kind of relaxing. I'm not saying that you should do that, but just have an idea of the things you want to carry forward in your life.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. And, you know, having said that, you touched on a few bad financial habits. What other, you know, examples of like bad financial habits would you say?
So I have, my kryptonite is video games.
Okay, good games. I think they're more expensive as well.
They are very expensive. I've gotten better over the years, but I remember when I was at university, I was like a complete sucker for like video game, like digital game sales. So that game you've been looking at for a long time, that's £10, it's only £3. And I bought like hundreds. I only played them once, like a lot of them. And, you know, you do that thinking that you should never do, which is, imagine if I'd invested all that money, blah, blah, blah. But like, we don't want to cry on this podcast, so focus on that. But that is my thing that I'm weak to. So I'd say is, you know, take a look back at your bank statements, take a look back at your budget, and look at the top 10 most expensive items on that list. You know, if it's stuff like rent and bills, then that's fine. But if there are things that you feel like you're price insensitive to, like you'll just buy them, those are the things that you need to like watch out for. I suspect that for a lot of people listening to this, it'll be things like gaming, drinking, Deliveroo, like these bottomless like money pits. These are really, you know, these are things that you can build bad financial habits around. So it's just to be mindful when you're spending on these things. I like to set myself a quota on like takeaways, for example. Just a set number of takeaways per week. And then if I exceed that quota, or if I fill that quota, then I have to eat something like that's in the cupboard. That's just a rule that I've placed on myself.
I like that. That's really good, because if you don't set any rules in place, then you just do whatever you want, right? And you won't be disciplined, you know. So for those people, so some people might not see like you know, getting delivery every week as a bad financial habit, even if it means that they're spending their whole paycheck on it. How can somebody recognize like a good financial habit to a bad one?
I think in part it's subjective. So if you have already saved up front and the rest of your money is yours to play with, then I guess you can get as many deliveries as you want. So I would say a bad financial habit will feel bad to a certain extent. You'll feel like, oh, I shouldn't be spending this money, or I could have spent this money differently. But I would also take the definition of a bad habit from the broader definition of habit. often bad habits are habits that remove you from the person you want to be or the goals that you have in life.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to buy a house and your Deliveroo habit is not allowing you to save your deposit, then maybe that fits the definition of a bad habit. It doesn't even need to be a house. If you're trying to go on, if there's something you really want to do, but you're in a kind of non-mindful way spending on something else, then that could also be taken to be a bad habit.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's very interesting, something that you mentioned. It seems like there's an instinctual part of people that feels, like you said, like if you feel bad about it, but some people just kind of just continue to do it, but they feel it. They feel actually, no, this is, and I feel like a lot of people, especially like if we think about credit cards and, not wanting to pay bills, they understand that it's not good and what they're doing is not good, but they just continue to, it's easier for them to just bypass it because they're just ignoring it and not, addressing the situation, but they know it's bad. So it's very interesting that you said that. I think instinctually we do understand that. What can a person do? So you mentioned a few safeguards to, kind of protect yourself, from, doing bad habits, because I think we all have it. What can a person do to, get them from doing less bad habits to doing more good habits?
Something that's been game-changing for me is shortening the time cycle that I budget.
Okay.
I used to budget on a monthly basis.
Okay, interesting.
And I use an app called Money Dashboard Neon.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah.
I really like it because it's so there's a couple kind of main. Well, there were three. So there was Yolt, Emma, and Money Dashboard.
I use Emma. Yeah.
Yolt, I think, is no more. It was a very good app.
Is it no more? Is it good?
Yeah, they've closed down the consumer app.
Really?
Yeah, or are going to.
Oh gosh.
But Emma's very good, but it's mobile only. So I use Money Dashboard because it's got the desktop
that's good.
version as well. So you can use it on
your
your
laptop.
laptop.
Put the description and link for that as well. Yeah, that's great.
And I used to check it every 30 days. Now, the problem with 30 days is if you're and this is at the start of the month, you begin to go, oh, right, so like, what was I doing on the 13th of September? And like, why did I spend this money and that money? And you forget. So I shorten that to every week. So I now look at my spending every week and I have weekly quotas. How much do I want to spend on takeaways weekly? How much do I want to spend on going out weekly? And you treat each week like a sprint. And then you tweak and adjust as you go. And I think that enables you it allows you to be a bit kinder to yourself. Because a week's worth of mistakes is a lot easier to swallow than a month's worth of mistakes.
That's true.
But it also means that you're much more on the ball. So that's what I do.
Wow. I really, really like that. So you now you're reviewing your budgets on a weekly basis.
On a Sunday, yeah.
Okay. Wow. That's good. And Money Dashboard is what you do to review.
Well, I use Money Dashboard is what I have all of my bank accounts linked into. Including my joint account with my wife, so we look at our finances jointly as well, and then I record it in a spreadsheet.
Okay, wow, that's fantastic. It's interesting that you said something, because I think we want to also make clear that when we're talking about budgeting and things like that, we're not saying that you have to meet 100% of the time. It's there as a guide. If you feel like you're not meeting it, because Timi does it on a weekly basis, he might be like, okay, week 1 wasn't good, so week 2 I'm going to try and do better, week 3 I'll be back on board, and week 4 I'll meet my targets. And I think when you treat a budget like that, it's to allow you to just have view of where you are with your finances. I feel like when you don't have a budget, when you don't even check your bank account, because some people don't check their bank accounts, and I've been guilty of doing this in the past. When you don't check, you're literally blind. How are you going to do, mental arithmetics? Okay, I spent £50 here, spent £10 here, I spent £60 last week. How are you going to remember what your balance is? And a lot of people don't. They go to the bank, they try and tap their it doesn't work.
Well, look, you have a particularly heavy night or heavy sesh, you don't then change your bank account. Everyone goes through that. But I think you can take a lot of the emotion out of money management by just recognizing that no one really is set up wired to be good with money. Money is this relatively recent concept that we've made up, and it's actually less real now than it's ever been. It's numbers on the screen. It's a tapping off your phone. It's so the actual spending. You can spend money really, really easy now. There's a comedian, Ronnie Cheng, he did a bit about Amazon Prime, talking about how like quickly stuff comes. Just like Amazon next, they're gonna do like Prime before. Like they're just gonna send you stuff, and then you have to pay for it afterwards. It's not that far away from like reality. So yeah, you can get over the emotions by just looking at the numbers in your bank account in the same way that you look at other numbers in your life. When you look at the time, you don't, get upset that it's like a certain time of day. That's just information you use so that you can make decisions in your life. Equally, a calendar, you use your calendar to figure out where you want to be and when. Don't judge it. Don't judge yourself. Be kind to yourself, because everyone is struggling with this stuff, even the so-called like experts.
Exactly, exactly. Like Timi said, we all struggle with it. We all come from the struggle, and it's a constant battle. And I think, like you said, once you acknowledge that it's a constant battle, I feel like you're just a lot more relaxed about it. Like, cool. Yeah. I have you. I know how to deal with it. I know what to do in place. Very, very, very interesting that you said the calendar. I was thinking about the weather as well, because it's true, we wouldn't go out without checking what the weather's like in this country. Oh my gosh, It
is. That's really good. It is like the weather.
Yeah.
Check your bank account like you check your weather. I love that.
What would you say are the benefits of having good financial habits?
Just efficiency. We are, good at many things. Human brain is good at many things, but I don't think it's built necessarily to remember things all that well, or to do repeat actions. I think we are all creative beings. That's what we should be using our brain to like think and build and stuff. So you want to develop the unconscious actions that you have. You want to develop unconscious actions that serve you, so that you can just get on with the rest of your life. That's what I think the benefit of good financial habits are. The thing about a habit is, the trick is, it's not about the quantity of the habit. It's actually just about doing the habit over and over again. And I'll prove this to you. If you were to swap, the drawer that you keep your socks in with the drawer that you keep your cutlery in, you would be forgiven for going into the kitchen for breakfast the next morning and reaching for your socks, because every single day you've gone to that drawer to bring out your cutlery. Your brain has kind of remembered that's where it is. So building habits takes time, and it comes through repetition. So if it's saving, for example, Richard Man Babylon says aim to save 10% of your salary. Don't focus on the 10% part. Try and save 1%. Because it's the muscle memory you're building of putting money aside, and then you can up it over time. I like to say save 1% a month, 2% a month, 2%. And then by the end of the day, you can be at 10%, and you would have had all this practice doing it.
That's a good way.
I think that, and the same goes with running. It is far better to get your shoes on and go for a 5-minute run than it is to go, if I can't run for half an hour, then I'm not going to run at all. That's self-sabotage. There's no need to do that. Just start small and build.
I like that about the starting small. It's true. And I think it's like that with anything. We don't have to overcomplicate things. It's better to be simple. It's better to do something that's manageable. Do something that's manageable, easy for you, and then just build, like you say. I really like that. Great segment. So we're going to move over to the next segment. So this is, I'm calling it now, the Finfluencer quiz. All right. as I speak to my fellow Finfluencers. So it's a would you rather. So we've got 3 questions here. So the first one is, I know you're no longer doing a job, a traditional job. You are now an entrepreneur, but still, we'll ask you this question. So, would you rather a job you hate with a really high salary, or a job you love with a below average salary? It's not a trick question.
I find it really difficult to do things I hate. I have to take the below average salary and then find a way to supplement the income.
Yeah.
For the people who can do stuff they don't like for a lot of money, there are advantages to that.
Yeah.
You know, if you earn enough, you can put that money into an index fund, build it up, reach financial independence, and then live off the interest from those investments.
Yeah.
You could build up a substantial pension. Like, there are obviously ways you can utilize that first scenario. But for me, I find it really, really difficult to do stuff that I don't enjoy, and I would be fired from that first job. It would just be P45 on the table.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I couldn't do the first one either. No way. If I did do the first one, I would have taken a completely different career path. Okay, great answer. The second question is, would you rather spend £1 million on travel or £1 million on clothes?
Yeah, I mean, most times this is what I wear. I decided to stop caring about fashion a long time ago. So it would be travel. I think travel is really important.
I think so too.
There's a whole planet out there, and people to meet, languages to hear, and different cultures to experience. And I don't even need to sell the travel thing. travel.
Yeah, travel for me is by far over clothes any time of the day. As you were saying, there's so much to experience, and it's so exciting being able to unlock and uncover a new culture that you've never witnessed before. Okay, so the final question is, would you go back in time to fix your biggest money mistake, or look into the future to find out where you end up?
That's a really good question. Am I allowed to say that I would do neither?
Yeah, if you want to.
So I wouldn't go forward in time.
Yeah.
Because I'd be too scared to see what I would meet. But you have a certain element of control over going back and fixing a mistake. But the reason why I say that I possibly wouldn't do either is because I think that mistakes are good. Mistakes are how you learn.
Yeah.
As long as you don't judge yourself, and as long as those mistakes are reversible, then they make you a stronger person, and they teach you better for next time. Yeah. You know, the only L's we take are lessons.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. It's true. Although I would have said to you, for me personally, Bitcoin, I would have put more money into Bitcoin. That's not a money mistake for me, by the way, but I'm just saying.
But the thing with with questions like this is, if you then apply that to everybody, then everyone would have put more money into Bitcoin. And Bitcoin wouldn't be worth it.
Yeah, it wouldn't be anything. Yeah, that's true. That is very, very true. Yeah, it's one of those hindsight situations where you have to kind of take a risk, right? Yeah. Oh man, that's interesting. So neither for you,
Yeah, but if I had to pick one, I would go back and fix mistake.
Okay, cool. Really love that answer. It's been great having you on today. It's been a very delightful conversation for me. I always like speaking to my fellow financial influencers because I feel like our journey is interesting. You know, we've come from a place where, you know, financial literacy wasn't taught at school. We sort of found our way, you know, around it, and then we're now imparting that education to others to help them. So it's always interesting speaking to other people about it. In terms of what's next for you, what have you got in the pipeline?
Yes, few collaborations with brands coming up. So keep your eyes peeled for those. But in terms of the direction I'd like to take the platform in, I would really love to go back to doing in-person type engagements, talks, events, I started out, my very first Mr MoneyJar anything, actually it was called MoneyJar at the time, okay. I put the Mr on afterwards,
okay.
Was a meetup.
Okay.
In Brixton.
Wow, I like that.
And I'm actually still in touch with some of the people who came to that event, and I think that COVID has made it very difficult to do in-person type things, but I think, we're social beings, and it's good to connect and see people in the flesh.
I completely agree. Defo, do that. Let us know how it is. We'll do a podcast episode just to see how you're getting on with that. Where can people find you?
I'm across most social media, but mainly on Instagram, and my handle is at Mr MoneyJar. You can also find my website at mrmoneyjar.com.
Okay, awesome, great. Have you got any final words? Do make sure to follow Timi at his social handles. What's your final word?
My final word is just to say thank you to you, Atto, for creating this platform and this space for people to have conversations. Many of the people coming on this show, this will be one of their first in-person shows that they've done. So what you're doing is very important, and I'm a big fan.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. It's been great having you. It's been great having Timi here. Like I said, he's like my financial influencer brother, and hopefully we're doing this together for a long time, and I want to definitely get him back onto the podcast. I do hope that you've appreciated all the gems that he's dropped today. He's a very, very experienced guy, and I hope that you found the part about Drake hilarious. Drake, gonna come for you. But yeah, thanks for listening to this episode of the podcast, and we will see you next week.